Imagine all you can do every single day is sit. Day in and day out, you don't leave a chair, you don't leave that position. You just stay in that one position all the time. You have no idea. My name's Anthony Fagiani. I'm 27 years old. I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at birth. Today I'm an IT administrator for a nonprofit organization that works with people with disabilities of all kinds. And this is my story.
I remember when he was born, I was allowed to feed him. Oh, he was such a tiny little thing.
When are you going to go to sleep?
When Anthony was born, he had a bleed in the brain, and that's what cerebral palsy is, bleeding of the brain. It was a shock. I was young. You don't know what it really means. You don't know what the future is going to be. All my husband and I knew was that we had to just do whatever was best for Anthony.
Typically, these are disorders that children are born with. That they may have a brain injury either before birth or during birth or shortly after birth. It really just defines a variety of different kinds of problems.
Being that he was 10 weeks early, my pediatrician knew that there was going to be some problem, but did not tell me about it. So we started early intervention therapies with Anthony at the age of, I'm going to say 3 months old.
People with cerebral palsy are often normal when they're first born. So they take a bottle, they cry, they laugh, they do all the things that normal babies do. But it's not till they get to be, 4 months, 6 months, a year old that the parents realize that their child isn't developing.
I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know what CP was in the beginning.
Cerebral means it affects the brain. Palsy means it affects the muscle movements. It's a broad term that involves a variety of conditions that involve typically the motor system, which is the muscles of your body.
Oh, I think it's his favorite. Oh my goodness.
Wow!
He was diagnosed as cerebral palsy spastic quadriplegia. All 4 of his limbs are affected. And spastic meaning they tighten up at times. As you can see when he talks, he tightens up. He might look up at the ceiling instead of focusing in. That's because the brain can't tell his muscles how to react.
It's not a disease, and by definition, it's not progressive. With cerebral palsy, it's usually a one-time injury to the brain, and that it doesn't really change over time. As you get older and bigger and stronger, you can have new problems, but the brain injury itself doesn't change.
We just did what we had to do. We didn't know anything else. Anthony was our first child, so there was nothing to compare. There was nothing to say, oh, I can't do this because I have another one. So we just did whatever had to be done for Anthony. You all ready to go to school? Okay, say bye-bye.
I love it when they come back in first grade and they're not ever quite normal. They often will have special needs, but they're happy and they're loving and they're going to school and the parents are, thrilled with their children.
We're very lucky. He had a wonderful childhood growing up. Everybody accepted him, never had any problems throughout his whole school years. And he's still showing us things, and we're all learning from him. Just a special, special child.
My name is Zach DeVries, and I've been friends with Anthony for almost 20 years. We met when we were in elementary school here on Long Island at Connecticut Elementary School. I took notes in class for him, helped him, move around the classroom or even in gym class, get through the everyday tasks that seemed really easy for a little kid, but some things that may have been more of a monumental task or challenging for Anthony.
Well, for me personally, it didn't really affect me. I just looked at it as, that's how I was. Adaptation is just something I had to deal with on a daily basis where, when it comes down to just daily life skills, like learning how to wash yourself, learning how to, the proper way to hold the cup or to eat or to brush your hair, basic stuff. So I have to adapt every single second of my life.
When Anthony was in elementary school, he was in first grade, his physical therapist had been working really hard with him, doing some walking with the walker, because Anthony really was not a walker.
One of Anthony's goals, because of his disability, was to be able to walk through the entire school. And so he set out at the beginning of the school year with the goal of being able to build up the stamina to use a walker and crutches to get through the entire school. And so finally at the end of the year, one year, the school got together and lined the hallways and we cheered Anthony on.
All family and friends had come, people made banners. From kindergarten to sixth graders were all lined up with the teachers in the hallway cheering him on.
As he walked across the entire length of our elementary school.
He's going to walk from here all the way across the building.
I remember it being really exciting for not only him, but all of us. It was really awesome to watch.
It was just such a thrill to see, I guess if you want to say camaraderie or the acceptance that everybody had for Anthony and just wanted the best for him.
No matter how upbeat that we try to be, when it comes down to it, life is hard sometimes.
When we were kids, Anthony had surgery one summer to try and make his legs more mobile. He was in a cast from his waist all the way down to his ankles. It was terrible. There was a bar between his two legs, so he couldn't move his legs, and he spent the entire summer like that.
He was on morphine drips at such a young age, 4 years old and younger. To see your child go through that and to have such pain and have to deal with that, that was the hardest thing.
All I remember is being in a hospital bed with all these tubes around me, not really knowing what's going on, and doctors around me just doing observations and tests. Picture being a young kid having to go into a hospital bed, having people just put needles and IVs in you and not really knowing what's going on. Like, why you need it and it'll benefit you, but just the fear, I guess, of knowing that you have to go in and allow somebody to kind of make changes to your body.
I remember spending a lot of time at his house, with his family and just hanging out on the couch, playing PlayStation, watching baseball games, and just trying to get through the summer. It was tough for a little kid.
Those really weren't fun summers of my life, but it was something that I had to get done, you know, to get to where I was today. But definitely that had to be the roughest time, just to live through all the pain and discomfort. But knowing that I had my family there to support me, that made it all the better.
We have a wonderful family. They deal with it not any different than any other child. They look past Anthony's CP. They've always looked past that. It was just whatever Anthony needed. Our family has always been there for us.
They all had my back, so that was always a major comfort for me, and, you know, something I looked very highly upon.
Anyone who goes through any difficult situation in life has some dark days, but Anthony really fought that and was always positive and upbeat and never let his disability define who he was.
Anthony always was very compassionate. For somebody in his situation, he never felt sorry for himself.
I never looked at myself as if anything was really wrong with me. It was really just when you went out in public or when you were in school, people that really weren't familiar with you or seeing anybody with cerebral palsy, obviously they have a lot of questions, and obviously they want to know why certain things are a certain way.
Just because you're in a wheelchair, people are going to view you differently. They're not going to get a chance to really know Anthony. They're going to look at the wheelchair, they're going to see some of your spasticity because of your muscle control, and they're going to judge you before they get to know you.
I would get a lot of stares and stuff. I would get a lot of people asking me dumb questions like, how do you sleep? How do you eat?
I'm going in the pool with Howie tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. I'm going to make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go swimming. Oh, we're going to have a great time.
When I was home with my family or around friends, I really tried to live, I still try to live, you know, kind of like a normal life, just like nothing was ever wrong in the first place. But I don't even look at it as that.
I think it's very hard going through middle school and high school, always being different and trying to be like the other kids who are playing football or baseball or dance. You don't have those skills. And we have to help them focus on things they do have, whether that be music or dance or computers or their personality.
I finally ended up on computers because that's what I would kind of use, you know, to substitute for a lot of the things that I couldn't do. Like, I really can't write that well. Computers just helped me get through life. You know, as the years went on, I realized that I wanted to know more about it. Things went from there, and I wound up, you know, falling in love with technology and computers.
I always knew that he was really interested in it, and I always knew that he was just a little bit smarter than I was with what was going on. I'm really proud of the fact that he's been able to take that and turn his passion into a career.
As a coworker, Anthony is awesome. I can always rely on going to him for anything, even like personal frustrations or frustrations at work. I can talk to him about anything.
It's a place where I can just be me. They don't care about my disability. They just care that I can do the job well. So that's all I ever wanted.
A lot of people would not imagine someone with CP would be an IT specialist, because he has to, hook up wires to the computers, put in the thumb drives, move different documents, and he's able to do it all.
I think Anthony is able to exceed his perceived daily limits because he's so independent, and he, for a long time, has been.
A lot of the time here, even our staff who are physically able, they always like to say, I can't, or I'm unable to do that. But Anthony, he makes an attempt at everything.
You may not be able to do as many different things as anybody else would. It's up to me to kind of make my life what it is and make the most of it.
Here with the population we work with, the individuals are basically, I want to say, they're in a shell. And he shows them that they can be so much more. So he's pretty much like a pop star here. They want to be like Anthony. And I think that's what sets him apart from everybody else.
My whole philosophy of showing them that anything is possible, I think that's one of my biggest goals and my biggest achievements in my life so far. It's good that you get internships because, this way they can see you, they see what you're all about, and then if they like you, the internship turns into a job.
Anthony is an asset to our company because he is an example for the individuals. They always turn to him first. He's like their advocate.
Every day I tell them things could be a lot worse, and there's always people that have it worse than you, so be grateful for what you have. Don't focus on what you don't have. People are never gonna look at you in the totally perfect way, because let's face it, you do have differences and you do have, stuff that people aren't used to. So you are gonna have to go the extra mile.
I think if you have cerebral palsy, you're mentally retarded, or you're severely handicapped. And there are many patients with cerebral palsy who have normal intelligence, will have families, and have a very happy and productive life.
People in our situation have skills and abilities that they can't offer you a lot of times, not because they don't want to or not because they can't, it's because you don't let them. And the only way that they can show you what they can do is if you give them the chance. So all I can say is just don't be so judgmental. Really honestly look at them as people and see what they can do.
It's not that he hasn't accepted his condition, but he has accepted it and is overcoming it as much as he can.
Whether I'm able to walk or whether I'm in a chair, that really is no reflection on who you are as a person. People are so quick to throw on the pity party. Oh my God, you're in a chair. How do you live life? How do I not live life? I don't really ever look at it as if I have anything wrong with me per se. I'm me. That's all I do. So maybe if I do things differently as anybody else would do it, or if I can't do something, as anybody else would, I don't even get angry about it. I just say, hey, you know what? That's me. This is the cards I was dealt. So, I gotta play the hand out and see how it rolls. And that's what makes my life unique and exciting, because nothing is ever as it normally would be. It's always a little different and a little challenging, but that's what makes it interesting and exciting for me.
I think everyone can learn something from Anthony's life. I think that the way that he has stayed positive is something to be admired, and everyone should strive for that sort of determination and tenacity.
Live life, live every day as you, and don't let everybody else get you down, because it's all just ignorance. If they knew you, they wouldn't say half the stuff they say sometimes.
My brother has a saying that the bend of the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. And that has really been Anthony's life. He never let his disability get in the way of him doing anything. And I think that everyone, no matter how old or young, able or disabled you are, should take that to heart and try to be positive and stay motivated through adversity.
I want to just say to anybody else that's, in my situation, whatever limitations you have in life, they're there. There's nothing you can do about them for the most part, but the only thing you can do is to do the best that you can to use the skills that you know that you have and your abilities to try to live your life the best that you possibly can. Don't be so down on yourself with the things that you can do. Embrace life and embrace the fact that you are on this earth and you're able to enjoy all the wonderful things that this life has for you. Your life is up to you. It's only going to be what you make of it, but don't let your disability get down on you.